Okay, good.
Simon, can you hear us?
But I went out to look for the presentation.
I was going to ask her to send her since she agreed.
I'm not sure.
Good morning, Ms. Simon. Can you hear us?
Can you see us?
Hey, Heidi, can you see us and hear us? Okay. Okay, but we can hear you, I think, really well, so that's the important piece. We're looking for your wisdom and insight, so that'll be great. Okay. Just bear with us, Heidi. We're going to make this, I'll just let you know, we're going to move you up to the front of our meeting, if you will, and you can go ahead and make your presentation then. I think it'll help us a little bit with all the technology stuff we're dealing with right now. Is that okay? Okay, just let me get the meeting started and we'll turn it over to you, okay? Thank you, Heidi, for being here. Thanks for your flexibility. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the February meeting of the Pedestrian Bicycle and Safety meeting. We actually have been on a little bit of a hiatus since November. We did a lot of work before. We did a little bit of work offline with each other in terms of ideas and collating some things, and we're really sort of gearing up now for the season to come. So thank you all for that are participating. We have a full agenda, and so I'd like to start with calling the meeting to order. Do we have a motion? Thank you, Diane. Mark, thank you. Vote? Okay, looks unanimous. Thank you. So the agenda is, well, let me go ahead and approve, address the agenda. That would be the next chart, because we're going to move something right away. Okay, so the agenda is as stated, but what we're going to do, I'd like, if I can make an adjustment to move Heidi's presentation up to the very beginning after the review and approval, and then the rest of it will cover afterwards. So with that change, do we have a motion to approve the adjusted? Bob, thank you. Art, thank you. Vote? Okay. Thank you all. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce Heidi Simon. Heidi presented at a discussion the Delaware Pedestrian Council that a couple of our members either attended virtually or live. Bob, thank you for the idea of having Heidi join us. It was a very informative, thoughtful conversation. He said, well, we would all benefit from that. So Heidi, we wanted to get you in front of us as soon as we could. So,
can I say something before we start?
I'm going to go right to you. Okay.
Hey, Heidi, I want to appreciate taking the time and effort to come out and giving your discussion to us. I think you brought some valuable information that we all should be considering. One part of her presentation was an intersection very similar to Kent and 26. And she provided some good insight on some of the things that can be done to improve that pedestrian safety. So again, I want to appreciate your time and effort. And I think we lost it.
So, Heidi, if you could just, okay, just 1 second. We have a small tech issue. This is actually pretty cool. We're pushing the bounds a little bit here, using all these. We've got a to use, and I really appreciate the team, Brandon and Will, for trying to make it work. Okay, Heidi, if you could just give us a brief, your background and bio and your group, and we'll turn it over to you.
Can you see my slides?
Yeah.
Awesome. So thanks for having me today. My name is Heidi Simon. I am the director of Suburban Communities at a national nonprofit called Smart Growth America. We are an organization that works to support communities on their path to become healthy, prosperous, and resilient. We do this through technical assistance, advocacy, thought leadership, research, really just trying to work with those who are in the trenches, making day-to-day efforts to create communities where we can all be the best versions of ourselves. Today I want to talk about a handful of things related to our efforts around transportation, specifically around pedestrian safety, looking at what the status is across the nation, some strategies and things that we know that can be done, and some examples of the solutions out there. So what is going on across our country? Far too many of our intersections, far too many of our roadways have been built to prioritize vehicle traffic over all other modes, whether that be people walking, biking, or taking transit. And the result is that too many of our community members are forced to experience the fear and stress and lack of safety that comes with having to navigate environments like you see on your screen here. This is far too common in any type of community, whether it be big city, small town, rural environments. And it's also not safe or enjoyable for the people either, even though they might be enjoying some increased physical safety over those outside the vehicle. And we see this in the data presented. This chart comes from a report we released this past summer, which looks at the rate of roadway fatalities in 2022, which is the most recent year data for. We have seen a 75% increase in pedestrian fatalities since 2010, so this is a historic and devastating jump across the U.S., and you can see that it continues to climb here. This is unacceptable. We have lost any gains that we have made in pedestrian safety, and the trend is just continuing upward. We know that the burden of traffic violence is not felt equally across all demographics. Our report looks at age, income, and race. I pulled out the race information here just because I think it is so stark and noteworthy to note that people of color, specifically Black or African Americans and American Indians and Alaska Natives, are multiple times more likely to be killed while walking than their white counterparts. So not only is this a transportation issue, but it really is a responsibility of to our community members, to some of our most vulnerable community members, to be addressing the injustices and inequities that we see on our streets. We know that the gains that have been made in traffic safety have not been enjoyed by everyone equally. I don't discount the fact that we have seen improved safety for people in vehicles. I think that is fantastic, obviously. And we have done so with hard work and investment and dedication. Now's the time to put that equal focus on people outside the vehicles, because while we have seen a decrease in fatalities, we have seen an upward tick for people outside the vehicles, and obviously we want those safety benefits to be enjoyed by all. Our report does look at general trends and provides rankings for 101 metro service areas across the nation. Additionally, we have an interactive map. We can go anywhere in the United States and see the pedestrian fatalities, where they have occurred, and who was killed. video call out today. The first is that the most dangerous place to walk is Memphis. It's a jump that is notable. It went from 343 deaths from the previous 5-year period. 343 deaths in the current 5-year period to 186 deaths from the previous, increase, nearly tripling their deaths per 100,000 people. Florida has 8 of the most deadly 20 places, so it is a notably unsafe state for people walking. And states control the deadliest roads. 66% of all traffic deaths in these 101 spaces occur on state-owned roads, and we know that happens for a number of reasons. One is that the state-controlled roads are most likely to be having competing priorities. So while they may be operating or serving the needs of Main Street through a community, they're also serving the needs and design of us, the interstate highway. We know that it is sometimes difficult to communicate effectively a community's needs or safety concerns to a state Department of Transportation, and for them to react aggressively to fix what is needed, and any other number of challenges. The entire trend in metro areas is that they are getting dangerous. I like to say that if you look at the block of metro areas that we study, everything shifted up in the wrong direction, and it has been doing that since that 2010 marker date. There are some places that are beginning safer. There were 16 metro areas that have been making some improvements, but those places were already making improvements in our last report, released in 2022. So the places that are getting safer are continuing to get safer and make progress. They're continuing to do the work that needs to be done. The places that are dangerous are getting more dangerous. And we are seeing pedestrian fatalities climb at a higher rate in urban settings than in rural settings. I did pull out the information from Delaware. This was shared at the previous meeting as well. Delaware, unfortunately, does fall within our top 20 most deadly states. It is number 7 among all 50 states that we look at. 21% of all traffic fatalities in Delaware were pedestrian fatalities in the 5-year period that we studied, and 74% of those fatalities occurred on state-owned roads. So a higher percentage than we see nationally. So what can be done to reverse this? Obviously, action is needed, and one of the things that we really want to focus on is controlling for speed. Speed is the most important factor that determines whether someone is able to leave a crash site their lives and or serious injury. And it's proven in the data. You'll see a chart here that I like to share with folks, so I think it is just very striking and very clear what happens when we allow unsafe speeds to occur on our roads. So we'll see on this chart that at 20 miles per hour, if someone is struck while they are walking, they have a 95% chance of survival. That goes down to 15% rate of survival at 40 miles per hour, so an 85% chance of being killed. This data is from 2017. It is the most recent study on this issue. What we expect when this study comes out again is that this will be even higher rates, because one of the things that has happened since 2017 is that the fleet of vehicles has gotten heavier and larger across the U.S., and it's a fatigue equation. Traveling at a fast speed, if you add additional mass to that thing, it's going to do more damage to what strikes. And unfortunately, we as humans are not strengthening ourselves in any way, in the same way that we are seeing vehicles increase in size and weight, even as, or especially with EVs and the batteries that they come with. We know that one of the best ways to combat speeding and high speeds is to make sure that our roads are designed appropriately for the context that they are in. This is an example that is from Memphis, Tennessee. It is not interstate arterial highway, so it's one of those places where 2/3 of the deaths are occurring for people walking. And it calls out a number of things that you might see on roads in your own environments that lead it to be a conflict area for people walking in other modes of traffic. So you will note that there are multiple lanes of traffic. The markings for crosswalks and for people walking, biking are not well maintained. A number of destinations and sidewalks, so people are encouraged to be out there. They are expected to be out there walking and behaving as they normally would. But you see very few stop signs or intersections to require cars to slow down. You see multiple driveways. So you're adding additional conflict points or potential conflict points, and long distances between marked and signalized crosswalks, which can either encourage people to cross mid-block where they are not as safe, playing, taking risks with their own lives, that they don't have to add that 10 minutes to their round trip, which is not something we've ever asked a driver to do, and also just not maintaining the signalized crosswalks that are there. The sidewalks are also not well maintained. You'll see any number of things blocking the sidewalks, including utility poles, driveways, signage, and the like. If we zoom in on an intersection, there are things that can be done specifically within an intersection improvements. One of the things that we always want to do is reduce the amount of time that a person is in a crosswalk and that they are exposed to danger, and you can do that by reducing traffic lights. You can also do that by extending the curb or the corners. You want to make it harder for people to turn right or left. You want to make them have to slow down as they make those turns, so that they're able to pay attention and react if there's someone in the crosswalks. You want to make those crosswalks well maintained and well painted. You can see on the screen here that a fresh coat of paint would do this intersection a lot of good. And at the end of the day, it really begs the question of who we are designing for. If we continue to prioritize vehicle traffic over all other roads, we're going to see the same results that we've been getting. And at the end of the day, whether you design for cars to get to where they need to go as quickly and conveniently as possible, or you are designing for everyone to be able to safely at the end of the day, those are incompatible. And you can't do both. And we're seeing the results of what happens when you try to do both. So what can be done? How can you change the things that are going on? The approach that we encourage at Smart America is something called complete streets. It is an approach that looks at touching every aspect of the transportation system and process, so everything from planning and design and engineering all the way to operating maintenance. I have many conversations about snowplows, about leaf clearing, about tree coverage, and it touches everything. But really what we want to do is change the way that we're thinking about our transportation system, so that we are focused on safe access for all people who use our roads, not just motorists, but people walking, biking, taking transit, people of all ages and people of all abilities. And the thing that Complete Streets aims to do is that we aim to change the behavior through design, so that our road design, our built environment, which tells us any number of messages throughout the day, starts conveying messages to everyone to be safer, to make the safe choice the easy choice, whether you are walking, biking, especially if you're driving, you are under the responsibility of that vehicle in an environment where there are other people at risk and exposed. And it can look at a different, any on the screen here, depending on the modes that you know are present, the desires of the people, the nature of the context of the environment, things like that. And at the end of the day, one of the things that we really aim to do with that design is going back to that question of how we control speed. In Complete Street design, slower speeds. People always say, oh, you want to slow down cars. Yes, I want to slow down cars because that is what is killing people. And I think if you add a few seconds to someone's trip, which is research suggested that it is a nominal addition of time for motorists when these improvements are installed. It is worth that to make sure that everybody gets to be home safely at the end of the day. So I have two examples here of speed studies that were done for complete street installation. The one on the left is from South Bend, Indiana. They studied 4 different design statements, changes to the road traffic circle, about the chicane and mini traffic circle. And what you can see is that the percentage of people obeying the speed limit increased in each of the four designs. The image on the right is a demonstration project that we worked on in Waterbury, Connecticut. They looked at improving their Main Street area, so it was about a 3-block section with lots of businesses, foot traffic, and the like. And they saw an 11% decrease in traffic speeds along that stretch of road during the installation. The reason we point to is like being successful is because so many people went and now speed needed right now. And they lost that. It needs to make walking and experiences be easy, to enjoyable. One of the number one things that we can do to improve safety for all road
Great. Heidi, thank you very much. That was really insightful. A challenge with doing Q&A because of the garbled nature of this. But what I'd like to do, rather than try to do that at this point, there's some really key concepts that I'd like to then open up for the rest of the group. This idea of the complete streets you talked about was really impactful. And one of the things you highlighted too was the idea that when you do that design effectively, that really impacts behavior. We're spending a lot of time trying to focus on people's behavior and thinking about design as a way of how to help and influence and reinforce that is really, really helpful. The idea of this quick build.
It's proactive versus reactive.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to wait for something bad to happen.
Yeah.
In order to address it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also that the whole idea of that quick build demonstration was really something we might want to take a look at. I do want to share with you. While there's always opportunities to get better, we've got a really dedicated team here. A lot of the things we've been working on over the last number of years, reducing speeds, increasing the design, or improving the design of existing crosswalks, building crosswalks in that don't exist, are all things that we're working toward right now. Now, we have more things on our agenda. We try to accomplish some, but it's that what I feel like we're moving, I think we're moving closer to that idea of the complete streets, right? And that becomes but I like that idea of using that as sort of a vision that we're trying to get toward. It really encompasses pedestrians, bikes, and drivers, right? And that whole idea of the design process for that. Those are just a couple of thoughts that jumped out at me. I'd like to open it up so you can hear any additional feedback from our team. Bob?
Hey, Heidi, just a quick comment, and again, it's the obvious what you stated. The majority of accidents are happening on the major roads. We always consider Route 1 as a major road, but we also have Route 26 is a major road, especially when it comes to pedestrian crossings. We've taken some steps on the highway, but we haven't taken the necessary steps, I think, on a route like Route 26. The other thing that I captured from your conversation, Heidi, was it's a cultural change and behavior that needs to be considered and what we're trying to accomplish here as this committee. And I think that cultural change needs to be better revised, if that's the right way of saying it. And really the key to that is a partnership with DelDOT and the town of Bethany Beach. I think that needs to be better developed. And the example I want to give is with the snow removal on 26. DelDOT did a great job. However, all the sidewalks were covered with a fill of snow that were not cleared. And then the situation is you have Delmar doing tree work operation on 26. A full lane of the road was closed, making the traffic riding on the shoulder and in the turning medium. And if you were a pedestrian walking, you were in danger. Now, why did I walk on 26? Because Collins was full of ice. So it's that cultural type of thing.
Right. So thanks, Bob. Anyone else on the committee want to, please, if you introduce yourself.
Yes, and my name is Mark Cohen, and thank you very much for the presentation. I was wondering if you could send it by email so that we can refer back to it, because I think there's just a lot of great information in there, including the stats as well as the design pictures. So if that's possible, that would be wonderful.
Sure. I will send it shortly.
Anyone else on the committee? I know we. Rosemary, go ahead. If you can get a. Yeah.
My name is Rosemary Hardiman, and I want to thank you, Heidi, for this presentation. I was the former mayor of Bethany Beach and also on town council for 10 years, and we tried over that time, and even before that, our town manager, Cliff Gabrier, tried to get speed limits lowered in Bethany Beach because our roads cannot handle our town roads really should not be 35 miles an hour, but should be 20. There's a catch-22 when you try to do it, and that's something called the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices. And so they say in that, the state says you can change the speed, but you have to do the 85th percentile study. And the 85th percentile study rewards speed. So we have been unable to reduce the speeds. We were lucky we were able to reduce it on Route 26 to 30 miles an hour from 35, and on Kent Avenue down to, I believe it was 25. But we keep running up against this catch-22. We've studied other states, and in some of those states they have the safe streets approach, but they've engaged the legislature to change the Manual of Uniform Control Devices. And I'd just like your opinion. Is there a way of doing it without getting the legislature to change that manual, or do we continue to have to do the 85th percentile study?
No. So in late 2024, an update to the MUTCD, which is the Manual Traffic Control Devices, was released, the federal MUTCD, and it says that the 80th percentile is not the only consideration that should be used. So DelDOT can no longer point to the 85th percentile as being the reason why they are not willing to lower speeds for you. And we can help you point to the new MUTCD to do that. It is frustrating. There's not, I think, proper education of the new MUTCD within engineers and legislatures. So there's a little bit of catch-up, I think, being done, but there is in the 11th edition, which was released in 2024, the 85th rule was changed.
So where do we get a copy of that?
Yeah. There's someone managing the chat on the Zoom. If I drop a link in here.
If you drop the link in the chat, I can pull it after the fact.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Heidi, for that information.
Thanks, Rosemary.
Yeah, no, it's frustrating. I agree.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else on the committee? Heidi, I want to again thank you very much for being with us today. This has been really insightful. It's sort of allowed, for me, a little bit, it's really sort of been encouraging. It sort of gets you more fired up and about the progress we've made. Rosemary spoke to a couple of those things, lowering speed limits, the redesign of some intersections we're doing now, the crosswalks we're putting in, but there's more to do, right? And there's you really helped inspired us to sort of think out of the box a little bit more. So thank you very much, Heidi. We would invite you to stay on. I know you're probably pretty busy, but I think the connection via YouTube is just one way right now. Will, is that the case? You can't, basically? So.
We're having ongoing technical issues with the audio stream to our YouTube channel at this moment, and in addition to, I'm sure you've been able to decipher what we've been saying. So unfortunately, that's still an ongoing issue right now.
Right. So, Heidi, what I would like you to do is, if you wouldn't mind, we'd like to maybe keep this dialogue open. So we've actually got a couple things. We actually did we contracted to help with an engineering firm to help study, it's sort of along the line of complete streets. It's not called that necessarily, but we have that. We're going to be working on that. I'd just like to be able to, bounce things off you going forward, or have you back and talk to us again. So, would that be fair?
Yeah, of course. Please consider us a resource.
Okay. Heidi, thank you again very much. Have a great New Year, and we really appreciate everything you're doing. Those every time you have a kind of address like this, you spur a lot of creative thinking. As you know, you don't know exactly what the impact of that will be, but I know it is significant. So, thank you for everything you're doing.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks. Exciting. So let's. We'll get back onto our schedule. Do you want to do? Would it be helpful to do Julie's piece now as our safety contact? Okay, that's fair. We're good, huh? So for those of you who attended, Bob, Mark, Diane, that was really helpful. And actually, Rose, about that meeting, we weren't even aware of it. So thank you for. That was good. And Bob, to your point, into the rest of what you're really raising is how we have to integrated way, right? It's not just what we do. It's not just what Del.Dot does. It's not just what Delmarva does. It's really trying or encourage, force is probably the wrong word, encourage us thinking collaboratively, right? And
Key.
And unfortunately, these groups are tend to be a little bit biased.
Discussion even on it looked that what that safety analysis was done. I think somebody like Heidi and her company, maybe doing an assessment here, kind of, a different set of eyes from a professional.
Yep. So what Julie and I, or Teresa and I have gotten, we're going to share with you for our next block of work over the next couple months. Engineering firm, and it's very detailed. Basis for us to use. So we'll get that to you, and we're going to build that into April meeting just to sort of do a debrief and what's coming out of that. So,
is it the same engineering firm that's always done engineering studies?
No.
Is this the original traffic study that we've been talking?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we will be getting that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But Teresa and I have had it, and have been plowing through it.
It's an engineering reading, but there is a lot of information there.
As an engineer, I can tell you. Nothing's exciting.
Give it to Bob first.
So, okay, thank you.
Well, if I could just, I don't know if everybody saw it or not, but the other thing that I found interesting from the meeting was the fact that they gave us an update on the North Bethany corridor study, and they said that, again, those proposed speed are going to be implemented this spring. I was impressed to hear that. I mean, it's not perhaps ideal, but it's certainly progress. And anytime we can add to the speed reduction in this area, I think it benefits everybody.
Especially with the crossings going.
Right. Yep. So,
It goes to the trails. Each of the crossings is at a trailhead, so it.
The one crossing, I believe, is pretty well set up, and that
Yes.
is the north entrance
Yes.
to the Fresh Pond Park,
Yep.
which is a very popular area. A lot of people would cross over there, and
So very appropriately for our community, and we'll be talking about this a little bit later in the agenda. We'll have Del.Dot here in March, and that will be one of the points of contact. Because, to be quite honest with you, that pedestrian crossing up there at 50 miles an hour scares the life out of me. Because in the country, we have those that are so.
Right, and people don't actually go. The speed limit is 55, but no.
So your point's spot on. I'm really hoping they be able to get lowered, but we'll
Right,
speak to it.
my understanding from the meeting, and correct me if I'm wrong, heard something different, was that they've been implemented and that there would be a follow-up workshop. Yeah, we'll communicate this and open up further discussion with the community. So I just want to make sure everybody had aware of that.
Right. I think that'll be a great point of contact and discussion in March, because we'll have the Delta folks right here to talk about it.
Exactly.
So it's spot on. Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Julie, do you want to? Julie's going to share with us a safety contact. We always like to start with a safety contact. And the beauty of this is it's really a safety contact, but it's also a demonstration of creativity and ingenuity, of thinking out of the box. So, Julie, I want to thank you for putting this together for us. So.
Sure. Pleasure. So we've talked about Wave 3.0, present our mission in new ways. So this is completely different than what we've had in a male spokesperson, so to speak, representing Wave and what it's all about. So in some of our research with our surveys, we found that our target demo for our events are the moms that are planning the activities for the family, whether it's their parents or their kids, but for everybody. So I took a different approach to female. And these are two different variations. So the first one takes more of a lighter tone that's geared towards pedestrians. The second one is more authoritative and a little heavier tone. You tweak this with music. I have to warn you, the audio is very, very basic, very rough, but it just gives you an idea for demo purposes of how we can tweak this and make it better. Even changing the voiceover to, for example, the heavier tone, we can have Sergeant Foley do that again. But, and also, adding some new statistics, that presentation, to me, what spoke was the Delaware is number 7 among. I think that's really impressive, and that would really hit people in the community and open their eyes a little bit more. So, again, this is just a start. So, go ahead, Will.
Get the best possible spot on the beach. We also know there can be a lot of distractions along the way. The best way to stay safe when visiting Bethany Beach is WAVE. WAVE stands for Watch, Assess, Verify, and Engage. We can watch from crossing, alert, and put away all electronic devices. Patterns. Keep an eye out for traffic and avoid walking in traffic lanes by paths. Verify it's safe to cross. Follow traffic signals. And obey crosswalk lights. Then safely engage and enter the crosswalk.
So that was this first one with the lighter tone geared to pedestrians. Yeah, just where they can get more information.
Yep.
And these are about a minute and a half, so they're a little bit long. It covers all the points. We can easily break them out into 15-second, just quick clips to get people's attention. Change it up.
Okay. Did you want to show the other one?
Yeah, the other one. This is the heavier tone.
Yeah.
Tell by the music. Yeah.
Did you know that Delaware has one of the highest per capita pedestrian fatality rates in the nation? We're doing our part to keep you safe to Bethany Beach with WAVE. What's WAVE? WAVE stands for Watch, Assess, Verify, and Engage. Watch by being aware of your surroundings. Don't be distracted when crossing streets. If driving, be alert for pedestrians. Follow all posted speed limits. Assess traffic patterns. Returning, entering, and exiting traffic. Avoid walking in bike paths. Verify it's safe to cross. Use sidewalks when not available. Walk facing traffic. And on the same side of the road as oncoming traffic. Engage and enter the crosswalk. Be sure to pay attention to crosswalk lights and traffic lights.
that's very good. Just an idea, we're putting out a newsletter in Bethany West. This would be a nice addition to that newsletter.
I wish Dan was here to see his little. He would love that.
Yeah. So, it's really cool, right? We started with Wave 3 years ago. I think we've now migrated to Wave 2.0. It continues to grow. And we've got a whole number of things that are really around behavior. Everything that Julie put together there isn't about a rule or regulation. It's about a behavior that we need to raise up. How this fits into all the other venues of connecting with people, right? That people can grab this on an app, they can see it, get the thought going, something that we can reinforce, talk to people about, and make that connection. So, but most importantly, right, this is the creativity, the ingenuity to sort of take a concept and put it all together. Julie, I just applaud you. This is awesome stuff. Really inspirational to all of us to try to follow with that. What are the creative ways we can do this? Safety contact. Okay, let's go ahead. Next aspect of the, actually, what I'm going to do is go back since we did not do this yet. The meeting that you have in advance, this is from our November meeting. It was a very full meeting. As you can see, we broke it. I'm not going to go through every aspect of it. We sort of did our normal things. Formulating safety contact, went through the department. Broke into the major initiatives for this year, as well as the ideas we got from the community in October, and sort of then prep for this meeting, basically, and for 2025. So I think you all, Raylene, there was a lot of turn on in town hall at the time of this meeting, and it back diligently and to an hour and a half meeting, I think. Notes verbatim because they were so good, so well done. I will try to summarize those close to it. So, Raylene, thank you very much for. So, no, I did.
Yeah, just I wasn't at the meeting, and I want to say I felt like I was there after reading these. These are fantastic. I did find 2 little tiny typos. Could I just give those to? Sure. I mean, it's just I could just if you'd like. They're nothing earth-shattering, but just like your name is Mr. Hinman, so that kind of thing. So, but these are great notes. I mean, I feel like I was here and not in the dentist chair.
And I read through. I didn't know who Mr. Hinman was, to be honest with you. So I didn't count that. Thanks. So,
that's your father, right?
Yeah. So, devotion to the meetings with the minutes with the adjustments. Okay. Vote. Okay. Great. Thanks, everybody. So let's now move into the middle part of our report or our meeting. Julie's already done the safety contacts. I don't know if we actually have a report from. I got it. Yeah. Oh, you got it. Yeah. For Chief, always doing double duty. Oh, double duty. Yeah. That's what happens when you become chief. You know, I'm taking 2 donuts. That's why I leave it. Beat me to it. All right. Okay. Go ahead, Chief. Thank you very much for picking that.
Sure. So the town manager. I'll go over the PowerPoint slides. Traffic study completed by DelDOT. This is at the intersection of Treetop Lane and Garfield Parkway, right next to the Fevos. DelDOT suggested we could put in a crosswalk. We have options of A and B. A is at the intersection at the bottom of the slide, just under the middle. That was option number A. And option number B is where the crosswalk is with the red center median. We initially wanted option A because it was uniform at the intersection at Grottoes, I'm sorry, at the Phoebos. That way it could allocate people that cross at Bethany Diner as well. However, the easement of the rapid flashing beacons were on private property, and the property owners did not want that, so we kind of forced upon option B. I believe BellDOT actually recommended option B. So what it's going to do is going to have beacons on each side of the roadway for pedestrians to hit. They will be able to cross the eastbound lane of travel, stay in that median. I'm not sure if there's going to be another beacon. One, it's a little shorter space, so it might be able to safely cross in one flash. Where Route 1 is, and the other southbound lane, there should just be one cycle segment. That's what we're going to move forward with. Grateful to say this is going to start before summer. Another thing here that pick up on, there's a lot of activity at the laundromat. Very top corner of that picture, and they all cross and go to Wawa. The laundry. So not only is it Bethany Diner, it's also going to utilize all the pedestrians that cross from the Phoebos Market to the Phoebos restaurant. So, which is great. I'll just use this for the next slide. All right, slide number 2. These are the crosswalks. Unfortunately, this will be happening in the fall. We're going to get crosswalks. On the very bottom is the southbound lane of Route 1. I'm sorry, the northbound lane of Route 1. Right is a totem pole. If we're all, we're going to have crosswalks installed along the northbound and southbound lanes of Route 1 on the northern side of the intersection, in addition to the east and west section. 126 across from the totem pole. You can often see people utilize the crosswalk on the 200 block of Parkway here and dart across the street recklessly in traffic. BellDOT recommended we put, I think the town actually recommended this to BellDOT. BellDOT kind of listened. They'll safely be able to cross in the turn lane coming off. We'll take it to the next slide. It will zoom in on what that's. This is an over 1 and 26. Now the town park will start of the frame. That's going to be a sidewalk and an entrance with pavers to the town park. So if you use the sidewalk on the northern side of 126, you can access follow a 5-foot sidewalk all the way past the pump house from Ken Ave and all connected in one. A little bit on the whole entire setup. Again, coming off of Route 1 southbound lane, as you turn on to 26, there'll be a crosswalk there. It will go park, pavers, and then continue a 5-foot sidewalk all the way to the Kent Ave intersection. So oftentimes we see pedestrians come to the northern side sidewalk of Route 26, cross to Kent, and then come this way, and then you have people that just follow the path that they're going, and the straightest line to the beach is on the grass, and then they cross recklessly. And we see young kids there too, so we now have a safer alternative to cross at 126 in for Kent.
And for people who don't know, those pavers will be memorial pavers. If anyone wants to purchase one in honor of a family member, you'll be able to do that when this project is completed.
Hey, Chief, can we go back to that first slide? The Phoebos Market?
It was the one that shows the
Right here? Yep, so this is kind of zoomed in.
Next one.
This one, yep.
So this is this area.
Yep.
My question is, these two proposed areas here, I brought it to your attention a number of times. Is there any thought of making this a no turn on red right here?
I don't think so. That's a BellDOT issue. I can tell you that where you're pointing, there's no safety issue for pedestrians crossing there at all. Pedestrians, cars yield to pedestrians 100%. I believe if you do the no turn on red, that's just going to back traffic up and interfere with 1026 in my opinion.
We go back to that culture.
Sure.
Because I reported to you a couple of times. I was nearly hit by a car here once by myself, and the second time
Right.
They do not look at me. They're looking at the light.
Sure.
If the road is clear, and they come flying around that turn, you're going to create the same problem up there.
So I think what DelDOT can do in your recommendation there, I don't know if that sidewalk can be moved further back along Garfield Parkway to prohibit the problem you're talking about. We have never had a pedestrian truck at that intersection.
Oh, no. And again, it's that mindset. Yeah. It's never happened before.
In order to do a study, you have to have statistics, though. We have zero statistics for that. The one we do have is a lot of vehicles get rear-ended, yielding to pedestrians, or merging into southbound traffic. Never had a pedestrian incident, I'm happy to report, at that intersection. I don't foresee one happening at this new one that's going to get installed on the southbound turn lane. I can tell you on July 4th, I'm in charge of this intersection out here, and I've been doing it for 16 of my 20 years there. It's chaos, and a lot of people, we have a seasonal officer on the northern side of this intersection that guide people and herd them on this intersection right here on the southern side. A lot of people, seasonal officer staff there for that July 4th event, and it's very safe to cross. So the town's going to provide lighting. There's going to be decorative stuff there. It's going to be well lit, and there'll be high visibility for that turn lane. Again, I think the same will happen for this intersection on the southwest side of the intersection, but no pedestrian has ever been hit or struck there. Right, knock on wood.
So, we don't want to be
So, Chief, that's really great news. Thank you for reporting that. Again, I think, again, going back to Heidi's presentation, think about complete streets, right? This is sort of retrofitting, right? And that's all really purposeful work. To Bob's point a little bit on where the pedestrians cross, where the cars are making a right. That clearly should be something we probably want to focus on in our, Wave 3.0 as an area of focus, right? As a pedestrian, you don't want to cross that unless you can make visual contact that the car is stopping, right? That people are doing, not depending on the light, not depending on a stop sign or something. But
well, and that's something we talked about with Wave 1.0. Was the Wave was the acronym, but it's also like somebody look at the person in the car, make sure they see you. Everyone waves. I think maybe meaning.
No, right. We can't assume.
Right. No, you cannot.
Into trouble. Right. Right. Great progress. Awesome. We have a question from, who is that? That's our mayor, Mr. Kale. Ron, please. Where do you want to?
I just have a question. How come I'm referring to them as piano keys? Black. White.
White is existing.
Yeah, I think the black is.
Right.
But they'll all be white. They'll all be white. In addition to the new ones that are already installed there.
Thank you, Chief. Did you have a police department?
I sure do. Yeah. I got to earn my second donut. Mr. Cavallo, I think this was from you. Correct me if I'm wrong. In November, you noticed that one flashing beacon was out. Okay. November 23rd. Morning, we forwarded it to DelDOT.
corrected by the afternoon.
It was corrected by the next morning, and this was Thanksgiving weekend. I think it was the Friday. They came out there. So, officer went out there. I think he sat in the car for 10 minutes and watched cycles go through. He got hit it, noticed it. We pulled a police report for it, informed DelDOT. I went a few documents stuff. It didn't happen. So I think once we document a police report, can you take care of this issue? It's a heavy weekend coming up. Great weather. They were out here the next day. So thank you for bringing that to our attention, and I want to give DelDOT some credit for fixing that right away. I have a for our J1 town seminar. It's going to be Wednesday, June 11th. It's going to be a week earlier than what we had last year. Being the date we were going to have it was on
and all my federal people state people that would come and help were scheduled off. June 11th is going to be held at St. Catholic Church on Route 26. Station 70, I'm very grateful for them opening up their doors last year. I had a classroom upstairs. We had to shut down 200 block of Hollywood Street, which was may have ticked off a couple homeowners. They're heads up. Massive parking lot in the back that we could have access to. We're going to have DART come. Kathleen Greer, who was here last year, she has it's called Get a Job, Get a Ride for employers that sign their up and they can offer free Ubers.
Oh, wow.
In addition to bus passes through DART. So I'm very proud to be working with DART. 1:05 in the morning when foreign students get dropped off here, they have to walk back to the house if they don't have a bike. Now they can get off their bus and get on the phone and it's reimbursable. I think they have but she's going to come. They're going to bring a DART bus, the resort transit buses that come through town. They're going to bring a bus, park it in the parking lot. They're going to show the students how to load their bicycles on the front rack.
Oh, wow.
And how to use and activate their codes to get on the bus for the bus fare.
Oh, my goodness.
So having all that in one site is going to be great. I just nailed down the date last week. This was kind of part of my term shot off the hip here last year. We kind of all threw it together. There was a lot going on at least part of last year. So throwing this all together, it was finalized in like mid-May. We still pulled it off. We had 107 J1 students come through. I just learned at a meeting last week. This year we have 606.
Oh, my goodness.
So we get 606 of these J1 students at our seminar, and those are just in the Fenwick Area Chamber of Commerce location. We'll talk more about that, but the date officially St. Church. I met with the ABC Bike Ministry, Mike Shriver and his team. They're a huge asset to us going as they do their bike loan program on site to do that at St. Anne's Church. So they're going to be for us. Met with them this week. It's great to have them on board again. Another date, June 24th, is the picnic at St. Martha's Church. There is a possibility. The South Coastal Library, we've talked about it on it. They are on board physical safety checkpoint at the. It's up to us when we want to do that. Defer everything to the vice. I will get bike lights and have them out there. I'll have an officer out there with everyone. But you can pick the date. I would probably think sometime in June, maybe good for that. I think they're willing to do it at any point throughout. Simply, we could sit or stand in the air conditioning in the lobby and give out bike lights and talk to people about what they think is right. You know, what we can do better, which will give us some to make good changes further. July 24th, it's a Thursday, with Office of Highway Safety. I'm very busy nailing down these. It'll be our first BBPD checkpoint that we for the heavy seasonal rentals. Just to be there all the time, as long as we've been doing it. Tuesday, August 7th, that will be with OHS. Having both of these at the same location, that's where everybody J1 students, the J1 employers that are in the municipality of Bethany Beach, we have probably 57 of them, and I might need some help door to door to these businesses in town as the June 11th date. 5 Guys, Grottos, Sandy Pony, Sedona, Tropicana, Penguin Diner, Bakery, Bethany Blues. So Blue Crab last year, I went to Tim, gave him a flyer, and I think all the students came. So if we can get the word out to these businesses in Bethany specifically, they're all in the east side of town. Most
most of them, that would be great. More people to come to the event. So we'll talk further about the J1 thing as it goes, but the official date is Wednesday, June 11th. And I want to thank St. Anne's for hosting that.
Do we have a time? June 11th?
It's probably I would make it shorter. Last year, 3, and there was a lot of downtime. So we're going to try to do it from 12 to 2. And I think Tuesdays and Wednesdays are primarily the area. So Thursday last year was kind of like, and it kind of messed up the employees a little bit, moving it to Wednesday. Assists more people there because they're usually off Tuesdays and Wednesdays to J1s. That's all we have for the part. No accidents to report, thankfully.
Great. That's awesome.
Just for an administrative standpoint, would you like me to compile these information and the other things in terms of events?
I was going to open it up. Whoever would like to do it, I don't want it. That's a big task, but if you would.
I got the one from last year. I'll just update it. And thank you. This information is very helpful.
Thank you. That's great.
This afternoon, what I've got so far, and please tell me if anybody else. I'll try and incorporate the events that I'm aware of that the town has scheduled, like the side festival and other things. And,
awesome. Great. Thank you. That was something I was going to ask. That was a big effort. I know Tim did it one or 2 years. You picked it up and have done a great job. So thank you. That's the key. Getting it sorted. I want to give a special shout out to Chief Foley, because when he says he had a few things on his deck the year before, but you know what? I remember a meeting. I've said this a couple before, but I remember a meeting. We were here, and how passionate he was when he talked to us about the J1 symposium and workshop and how important it was, and we were sort of running into some roadblocks and this and that. And with everything else on your deck, Chief, you put together a home run for us last year, and just you can see that energy and passion in the planning for this year. So thank you. We're really indebted to that kind of service and support. So thank you. It really fantastic. All right, well, that's a tough act to follow. Julie from. Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot to report other than I'm going to order some more wave shirts. And 2 big events coming up for us are, besides Fest, as you mentioned, this is our 10-year anniversary for that. So it's going to be a bigger and better event. And Sunday is our meet and greet with our first responders. And that's where we had the table last year. So that date is Sunday, May 24th, and the time slot is 5:30 to 7. So that's a great way to reach out and connect our mission to the people. Another big day after that is June 7th. That's our craft show. So we will have a booth there, I assume. We're going to have the table there. We ran out of shirts so fast last year, like in the first hour, right? Yeah, so hopefully we'll be more prepared this year. We have plenty of stickers, we have brochures, so just to satisfy the demand.
Great. I'm very impressed. Do you run the website?
Just the events portion?
No,
and
it's been very impressive.
Okay,
I
thank you.
check that regularly. And details, and I'm assuming you had some involvement with Fire and Ice.
Yes, the town is a co-sponsor, so anything that was happening on the bandstand, that was us.
Had very good turnout, so I'm hoping that everybody in town was, because I know that a lot of people are having a lot of.
It's good for businesses.
Very well done.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Great. Julie's always thank you. Yeah, I think that's one of the great things about our committee and work we do is we're so and Chief Foley, because it really is a true partnership. Thank you both and your teams. I know it's a lot of great folks. Yeah. Okay, let's keep moving. So we'll move into the key focus areas for 2025. We focused on that we picked back in August. So we'll be working on a little bit what we've done work already. Community event in March where we're inviting our neighbors to come in for a learning workshop. Ben Recker coming, as well as or 7 different community groups. We'll get to that in a little bit. The ocean debate table is one of the big things. Again, for the correction on the time. Town events, Julie just spoke to those. The workshop, the J1 student workshop, we now have dates. The 4th of July, we were thinking about having a vehicle in it, or boat, or train, or the parade.
So we could do that.
More to come. We've got the bicycle safety days, the dates identified now, and plus the potential for doing one at that will sort of take the lead on. So we need to run with that. Expanded use of the safety reminders. That's what Julie was giving us, really sort of priming the pump for. And obviously the partnership with the folks, outstanding. So those are the things that we've done before that we're working on. So let's move into a little bit. These are ideas that came from our community. Okay, when we had the workshop back in October, what we've tried to highlight are the things that we captured everything folks said, or tried to. Okay, we don't necessarily do all these. We might do, but the big ones we really have to work very closely with council and if you will. So additional cross. Chief talked about that. Collins recently, and also I was just noticing speed bumps on the east side of the park. I'm not sure if they've been put in the ground yet, but I think there's talks of them. Okay.
Remember where it is. There are some additional speed bumps east of Route 1. I don't think
yeah.
There may be one in Parkwood, but there are others that were installed.
So the idea here is again, to capture these, we'll add to it, and as we knock things off, things we can take them off our list. But I talked about the expanded pedestrian crossing on Route 1 and 26 are in progress. So let me move into the other administrative options. More that we can do without this amount of coordination with other agencies and the like. These are ideas. Again, that came forward from our community. Let me show the next one as well. And then the engagement and behavioral changes. These are the things that really sort of fit a little bit more into the Wave 3.0. Again, a laundry list of these. These are all came from our community members who took the time to share their ideas with us. So what I'd like to do is try to, we're not going to, these lists are not going to go anywhere. They're going to be our evergreen process. Or take things off if appropriate. But are there any particular ones that I really wanted, Teresa, and I want you to think about? So we had this in October over the last couple months. Are there any of these that are up here that particularly want to try to move forward with? Either not so much the structural ones, because I think those are bigger, or the engagement behavior.
Etiquette issue, again, rather than us perhaps just creating signage, is this something we could maybe talk about at the community event? Because there may be, again, there's bike trails up in Lewis, right? I think it goes from like Georgetown to Lewis now. There may be stuff up there. Sure. But I think perhaps discussing just making sure that we are communicating information about what the expectations are of pedestrians, bikers, etc., and maybe forum and see what other people think, and maybe if we got to the point, maybe we could have a working group from various together, and then in turn, if we had consistent signage, communities. Okay. So, as I say, there are nice trail signs out there that I think are very helpful in terms of setting expectations for the people using the facility. Okay. In turn, I think if we were to try and, we can obviously create our here in terms of putting on something on the bike rack. Other people involved, maybe there's something already out. Or we could work with others to create. So if there was an opportunity during the meeting in March to kind of combine thoughts in terms of.
Art, can I build on your comment? Because we'll be presenting as well as hosting the event. We'll be presenting as well. So maybe we present these, maybe we clean them up a little bit, try to make it a little bit more, and then sort of these are things, see if there's sort of any traction, sort of other communities to partner with us, because it's really broader than just us, right? I think that's the key thing.
Right.
And we got March right next month, so.
Exactly. On the trails over in Northern Virginia, they had, consistent signs would be out there, what the expectation was. And again, pass on your left. Let people know in advance that you're passing. Be aware of this. A nice reminder, and it kind of reinforced the different situation because that was a specific bike trail. But I think there are opportunities here for us to further educate which problems down the road. And again, it's just a matter of setting expectations. We want people to have fun, but we want them to do it in a safe manner.
Right.
So,
On your comment about the Lowell Georgetown Trail, I was riding that yesterday. There's not much on signage other than, hey, if you're going to your left or to your right. But that was about 10 miles of that trail.
Okay. But that's
yeah. It wasn't that it's not.
Okay. Came up, and I think I'm trying to think where there were some cracks, and maybe if we could use a couple more strategically placed. I know that having some here in town hall, but the way last time was the idea that maybe we do a quick survey of where we have everything now. Just do a review. Think about building off the sign that we could sort of include with that bike rack. Is that? I mean, it seemed like that was one that we were interested in. Is that one that?
There may be a list of where the bike racks are located.
Yeah.
Well, I think some removed and then put back.
Yeah. So, Teresa, how do you guys do it? Anyone we can work with Public Works on this and just to sort of see. Anyone want to take that and run with it?
You mean just
No, actually get with Brad and him.
I think you and I should do that.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Volunteer for something? Okay, all right.
I mean, 2 donuts.
I think that'd be great because it'd be nice to have number, if nothing else, because then it again shows another aspect of what the safety committee is trying to do.
And we can share the list with the group.
Yeah.
But I think you and I should get the list.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Anything else that you want us to from our list here?
Yeah, from our list here, I know we can have a no turn on red, based on what the chief said. I think it would be important on signage on 26 and Route 1 if we could have speed indicators like you see on some of the other Delaware state roads, the kind of flashes, the happy smile, the smiley face or the frown. I think that would be important just to bring it to attention, and specifically on 26. But I think that's something that, and I know the comment was that's a Del dot type of thing, but I think it's an ask that we could do as a community to say, hey, we've reduced the speed limit, can we have some signage?
There's no harm asking.
Yeah, I think we actually had that last year. We have towns, we have signs south of the inlet that we can use and give information for through DelDOT, and they're very open to what we want to put on there. This new one that's installed at Oakwood Street and Median, they use it for like emergency notifications for hurricane evacuations, but so whenever you guys want, I don't know if anybody saw it, but they had a Billie Jean get a DUI, and they didn't need it. They change it every week, and they're pretty entertaining signs. Yeah, everybody texts me thinking that I came up with them. I certainly cannot take credit for it. But if we want to put anything for speed limit notification signs, not to use those signs. We did have them out right when we implemented the speed change from 35 to 30 on 26. One right here on the town park property. It was on a trailer, speed trailer, and one coming over the bridge, and Brett, God bless him, it was on about a 45-degree angle on a hill, and he propped it up and it was sitting out there for a week, notifying people of the speed change. I think those are great things to do. Might be something that we could look into doing like Memorial Day weekend, leave it up to like mid-June, just to remind people it's 30. I can tell you that we have not had any traffic tickets issued for speed violations because people are dropping their speed. You can watch the hoods of the myself included. I don't 35 anymore. It is working, and I'm happy to report that we haven't had any accidents since last summer involving speed and pedestrians, and the slower people are going, the safer the town can be. So I'm all about putting those signs up in there for the summer.
Yeah, and those kind of things, as you're speaking to, and Bob's point, those can be like the temporary things we put up to get people's attention. Maybe if they're new to the area, they're not familiar with it. Those stuff highlight, hey, you're going too fast. The same thing that happened in Dewey and other places.
Same throughout Delaware. Just happy face, frowny face. Your speed limit is over.
Right.
I can tell you when this U-turn was implicated a few years ago, there's 2 signs that are put in the ground that say no U-turn, and then once you get out there and actually U-turn and you're looking at southbound traffic, you're looking through another thing that says no U-turn, and people continually pull a U-turn. So help, but they're not end all be all.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to reiterate, this is sort of a personal leading indicators. Do that we can sort of help gauge what the consequence will be down the road, not so much what's happened, right, but what's going forward. And I just wanted to throw an idea out. If we were to sort of capture very informally, nothing more than maybe you sort of keep track, how many people, and we can just start with our committee, right? How many people do we actually talk to, have a conversation with? It raises some of the topics about safety, whether it's pedestrian safety, bicycle safety, that we have conversations with people, and just sort of keep it tally. Maybe we do it monthly, and we just sort of give ourselves a, we had 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever the number is, because every time we have one of those, people's behavior. Julie, you and I chatted about that not too long. Be open to that. Again, no, there's no shame if we're not going to keep a scorecard. It's just to sort of see where are we, how many people we as a leadership team in the community, how many people we talk to, and I don't mean hand out a T-shirt, right? Hand out a T-shirt, but it's only if we talk to somebody we sort of get like a connection with.
Well, again, I think that's great. The other thing too, it'll kind of give us an idea if we should various events or not. I mean, if we have a table somewhere and we're at
Yeah.
60 people, well, okay. On the other hand, if we talk to like 50 people on the course of like 3 hours, okay, yeah, that's probably worth pursuing. So I think, again, things I think would be very
I mean, I know we've raised that before. There's, that's a softer metric, but I think it's a really important one to keep us thinking about the change piece. And somebody talk about culture, right? Are we having impact with culture? You're not going to change it unless you engage people. It's not going to be a sign. It's not going to be a traffic light. It's going to be connecting with people in a different, more impactful way. So, okay, well.
I think that's really true. We met the Bike to Bay. I mean, because we have the table there.
Yeah.
We talk a little bit, but we really could be a little bit more proactive.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, and I was even taking it a step further than that. That certainly falls into that. Not so much the capturing the number of, but I think it's important the number of people we talk to, say, the Bike to Bay, right? But actually, I'm just talking about the one-offs we have. You're out in the street and you start talking to a family and they got the kids and we're talking about safety nets.
In your
neighborhood.
Kids biking with their bike.
Yeah.
You can get one free.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a presentation at an HOA meeting, potentially could discuss, open the floor, throughout. Yeah. I mean, if we have 20 people in the room and you talk about, we got here the dates with the bike safety checkpoints, and we talk about some things we're doing. Okay, well, to me, that counts as you talk to 20 people. Yeah. engagement. It wasn't just like, you know, you threw out a flyer here or there.
Yeah.
So this could be a good, pretty good thing. Good. We could say at the end of the year, again, we want to do reverse engineering. To the community, hey, over the course of the summer, we had 300 interactions. Then,
Yeah.
okay, well,
Again, my intent really is to be whatever that phrase is, drunk, right? But sort of give us an indicator. You know, we're going up, we're going down, and that's just where we're trying to get to. So, okay, good. So let's move into what time we have left, talking about the Will froze up again here. Turn it off. I'll turn it back on. Okay, you want it to sleep. Okay, great. So, again, these are some of the ideas that we've shown this before, the Wave 3.0. All the topics that we're talking about, particularly around culture, behavioral change, with some degree of specificity, are listed here, right? This is not an all-inclusive list, it's just a working list. But, you know, Julia's sort of taking some of the ideas this morning from, you know, so just to keep in front of us and what we're trying to put together and design. Are we checking the boxes on some of these to engage with people? All right, so we've had that. So let's now move into the last block of work for today. This is the planning workshop for the March. This is just sort of the what we're trying to accomplish. No different than what we used last year. Criticize, it's not to judge, it's just to be able to provide insight to people, information, and then hopefully, to your point, that when we get done with that, there's some light bulbs that go off that what we can do individually as a community or collectively as a broader group of communities working together.
so we're all related here. And we have
Yeah.
and everybody. Yeah. If we can all get on the same page, I think we'll be much more successful rather than everybody.
Absolutely. But again, the workshop is really meant to foster that, right? Because you can't we come together, we share some ideas. That's what happened last time. We really struck up some juice in the room about, hey, let's work on this, or I like that idea. Or a couple people said, well, I like that wave thing. Why don't we do the same thing? Great, do it. Yeah. You know, we'll work with you on it. So this is just our draft agenda. Again, following what we did last time, we'll have a off. We'll have Del's out to a half hour Q&A. We'll have the community up and give them 5-10 minutes, depending on the number. Dan Rex going to be here as well. So Del Dots will be talking about, we're asking them to talk a little bit about infrastructure projects, i.e. the project in North Bethany. Dan Rex we've asked them to focus a little bit more on the trail idea, right?
Yeah, that's come up a lot in our meetings.
Yes.
People want more information on those trails.
Yeah. So those will be sort of the bookends. Summarize some learnings, wrap up art. Maybe this is where some of that collective kind of energy comes from, and then we'll have a lunch. Okay. So what like we did last time, everyone on our team to take a part in this. So very late in actually asking you to do this. I think it was like the morning of the meeting. I said,
5 minutes before.
Yeah. Because yeah. But we'll break it up so all of us, because you all are all. So this is I want every one of you to be able to take part of it from a Bethany perspective.
Just give us a script ahead of time.
Okay, I'm not a script person. What you want to do? Okay. And so here's this last part is this is just me going through a bunch of emails that have gone up, and I really appreciate Teresa. Mark and Diane, I think, right, have sort of took the ball and reached out to a lot of folks. These are the ones that I think we've heard from.
The chief of police, he thinks it's Rehoboth.
Yeah, have 7 RSVPs, and I haven't heard back from the people that were giving it to other people.
Okay, so Chief Banks is Rehoboth. Okay. He came last year, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he was actually really, because I don't think they have a formal committee.
do
He
not.
was representing them. But I thought it was impressive. It's like Sergeant Foley coming in.
Right.
You know, he was really filling in for. Oh, sorry, I was just going through a bunch of these emails. Are there any? Is there anything up?
The
I just
mayor,
want to correct anything.
yeah, mayor of Millville,
Ron Belenko.
Ron Blanco,
He's coming.
he is.
Great. Okay. Actually, the names here are a little bit more to help us just from a planning on the numbers and lunch perspective. We're going to take the names off when we get.
Well, we did name tags last year,
Okay.
so the names are important.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that.
So, even more important then, are there any names that are not there that need to be for any of the folks that you all reach out to? Please.
It's also the mayor of Hamilton Acres as well as the manager, Joni Reich.
Okay. Great. She's okay. Super. Lewis, Rehoboth. There were a couple people responded. That's their chief.
Another one from Lewis. Ray Quillen?
Yeah, he's up there.
Lewis Gray Quill. Yeah.
Who do you have, Mark?
The chief of police, the planning director, whose name escapes me.
Okay.
You can send it.
Yeah, I'll send it.
I'll put these all up.
Yeah.
We also have first from South Bend.
So I thought Edie couldn't make it,
Yeah.
but I thought could make it. She thought
I
somebody
sent
would
one
go.
Bob. Let me double check. I'm going to go back over the ones I sent that had not replied.
Okay.
I'll do that this week.
So could I ask this? Since you all have already reached out to folks and made the contact, which is great, that's fantastic. If you could just reiterate, maybe in your follow-up with them, that remind them that if they, what I'd like them to, if they want to come and actually present something, they can do it just verbally. That's fine. Or if they have a chart or two they want to work off of, I would just ask if they could send those to us in advance.
That's a good way to remind them. And then also say,
Yes.
we need to check.
Yeah.
That's a good way to bring it. Coming. We like to have your charts ahead of time if you want.
If you have them, I'll have them all lined up in that way. We'll get them in advance. And
Say we want them by March 15th or something
I
like
think that's reasonable.
Okay.
the 20th, we'd like your charts, if you have any. Yeah. So Millville, we do have, Ron's going to be there. Okay.
So
the
last
one
year,
that I can do it.
Dewey had, we ran into this last year, they had a stand. So we can ask the mayor if there's someone else he could send as chief of police or another police officer who wouldn't normally attend that meeting.
Okay.
And didn't send anybody last year. We can certainly ask.
Yeah, it's up to you. I'm not trying to make. We've got a great list if folks are interested. Right. But so who has Dewey? Who reached out to them? I'm trying to remember. You all broke the list up, I think. Did you?
I'll go back and check. I don't have anything from Dewey.
We might tonight. Right?
Yeah, maybe.
So how about Teresa and I?
I'll check on Dewey.
Oh, okay, great.
Because I just have the RS people right here, the RCP, and I did not have something back from Dewey. If he said he did not do Dewey, then it's on my list.
Okay.
I would, when you reach out, I would just say we're aware that you guys had a standing meeting. Is there someone else you'd like to send? Who isn't?
And some of them did do.
Sure,
and they said they were passing it on to people, but I'm going to go make sure those people did pass it on to somebody too.
Right. And then, he doesn't think that we ignored the email last year. It says I can't do it at 10 o'clock.
As you all are doing that, I'll leave that to everyone to just send us back. And since we do want to have the name tags done, if you have additions to this list. Is that fair? On, and we'll make sure we have the tank card or the name tags ready. Fenwick, whoever had Fenwick, I mean, it's fine to send them a reminder, but
There's no harm in sending a reminder.
Yeah.
And
Send a
if she
reminder.
doesn't respond,
I do have that, we did send to Julie, but I have not received anything back.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
and if they can't make it, they can't make it.
I mean, we got this is a great lineup. So we'll reorganize this. We'll do it in alphabetical order, so there's no just sort of grab them and sort of read them kind of thing. Great, I think we're in great shape for that. Plan. We'll have some food afterwards. I think it'll be a great to sort of again generate some thinking as we into the 2025 season, right? And some good things from DENRAC, from DelDOT, and from our community colleagues and friends. I think the last thing we did talk about our meeting dates last time. I don't think this is before. I'm just sharing it one more time. So we'll have the March 27th is our learning sharing workshop. We've got some dates blocked out for the summer months, and then October 23rd. I'll get these charts to you too. You don't have to. We'll again do maybe not that bodies. We'll do community here. Just let people come and share us. Working off of.
No September meeting.
Right. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. If we need it, we can always throw it in. Right? We're going to be going high.
Sure.
Think low before.
Sure.
Yeah. I think what we'll use August for a little bit is like we did last year. Let's look at a retrospective plan for next year again. You know what I mean? We need to tweak what we need to add, right. And then sort of get more input from the community. I think that's sort of a nice flow.
I agree.
The Thursday, July 24th meeting date, I think we had the same incident last year. Have the same date on my checkpoint.
Yeah. Okay, we'll change that. We'll.
I mean, that doesn't. I mean, we can still.
Well, I think if we skip a meeting during the summer, that's a terrible idea.
Right.
That might,
yeah.
I think that's what we did last year, right? I don't know. Maybe we changed the meeting date. I don't remember.
So we'll make it. We'll check with the town. 23rd, which is a Wednesday. Just to sort of put a placeholder on it.
Yep.
I think we might have had a lot on our plates. It would be nice.
Yep.
People showing up, the whole thing. So we can easily defer to meetings, but at least it gets it out there.
Yeah, but it's nice to have the date on the calendar.
Yeah. Okay.
There was no July meeting last year.
Okay.
There was no July meeting. Okay. Let's
just cross it out.
Let's cross it off. Okay. Eyes off.
Okay.
Good. Rosemary, please.
I just wanted to report that Cliff has already initiated communication with DelDOT based on Heidi's presentation. And he wrote to the explaining that part of her presentation that the federal manual of uniform traffic control devices was only 2024, and that the 85th percentile speed assessment was no longer required standard for the appropriate speed limit on specific streets, and that there were other considerations. And he said, is this accurate? Is there a new assessment one could initiate to resume, to reassess the 25 mile per hour speed limits on some of our heavily walked streets? And if so, how could Bethany Beach begin implementation? So that's based on, thank you very much for that presentation. Hopefully there'll be comes from it.
Look at that.
Awesome.
Thanks to Cliff, he's already on the job.
He gets a donut.
We got a lot of competition for donuts right now. Today. before we adjourn, any other comments? We covered a lot. We went almost 2 hours. I apologize. The agenda items were really spot on. That is, we'll be getting you a copy of this.
I'll send it electronically.
We're going to send this to you electronically. There's plenty for you to read through. If you're really adverse to electronic, we can certainly make you a copy of paper.
I can give somebody my copy.
Yeah, we're trying to save a little paper. So that'll be something. That'll be a work product that will feedback and thoughts. So that's that'll be there. Anything else from the team?
The engineering study?
Yes, that's from the traffic group that we started probably with them a year plus ago.
Oh, it was like 2 years.
We weren't exactly happy with the product. We pushed back and we asked them to sharpen their pencil and work a little harder.
This may be something for the town to consider, but it might be good to have Heidi put her eyes on that to see what.
Well, I want us to take, Bob, we can do it. Yes. First step is for us to put our eyes on it.
Right.
Okay. And then we'll go from there because we might want to say, let's expand this a little bit. So, but I want you all to see it first. You haven't had a chance, so we'll get that too. Fair enough. Anything else from the team, from the community? Mayor, thank you for being here. Appreciate it as always. Will, thank you. Special thanks for, I know we had a lot of technical issues we were dealing with, and you took it like a champion. You just sort of came in and said, we're going to try to make this work. Relax, Mickey. And I said, I'm going to relax. We got donuts coming, so I'm completely fine. But thank you. I know that we threw a lot at you with a bunch of different things. So thank you very much. I'll just go to really after we get done. Raylene will send the notes. We'll get those to you directly too. And Mark, you're going to send some upgrades to Raylene or give them to her before she leaves. Do I have to adjourn the meeting? Art, Diane.
All in favor?
Thanks, everybody.